What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Me TV Reviews. I am your host, Mo, and tonight, we're going to be discussing Only Murders in the Building. That's right, y'all. This is Season 5, Episode 8, titled Cuckoo Chicks. I hope you guys have had a good start to your week, y'all. All week, we're going to be shouting out D'Angelo, y'all. We lost him. So rest in peace to him, y'all. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead, get into the synopsis real quick, and then we're going to get right into the episode. So the synopsis for this one is Mabel gathers a ragtag group to crash an exclusive ladies' night while trying to save the Arconia from being sold. Charles and Oliver accidentally end up in couples therapy. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into this episode. So this episode opens with them taking us back to 2 years ago when Saturday nights was popping in the Arconia basement. The casino was hot, okay? Everybody is gambling, they drinking, we got people puffing on cigars. It's a good time to be had by all, but it could be better. So as Rainey does the voiceover about how luck has always been portrayed as a woman for most men, which, I mean, she does have a point. That way, if it does go well, then luck is this beautiful woman, right? Everything that you desire. And if it goes bad, well, that'll be another thing just blamed on a woman. I was doing something wrong. So as the voiceover runs, Camilla is making her way to the bar to grab a drink, but she ends up making a proposal to Nikki, who happens to be making said drink for her. What if he did a ladies' night? No men, no harassment, no cigar fumes. I mean, this could be profitable for both of us. And so he agrees. Now, fast forward to the present, where Mabel and Vinny are talking about the latest events with Camilla when Fifi pops over with news of a party that she wants Mabel to attend. She's been cordially invited to the ladies' night down in the basement by Camilla. And because Fifi's got a video shoot the following morning, she can't go because, baby, once she get a couple of drinks in her, she is done. Do you hear me? So it's going to be a hard pass for her. So she ends up telling Mabel, go on and invite as many girls as you want to join you. And, we going to get this thing popping. Y'all, I really was hoping that she would invite Uma, but she didn't. Side note this go around, y'all. In the intro, did y'all notice them black cats? I've been noticing little stuff now on the intros. I wonder what they're going to put in the next episode. Now, in the lobby, Charles and Oliver are trying to do a little bit of math with Randall about Camilla's percentage of ownership within the Arconia. So she basically owns 49% of the units right now. So all she needs is one more to gain half ownership. And I believe that's probably going to be, majority stake in ownership for the Arconia. So, 50% is 51 is the magic number for her. Now, Oliver has to find a way to try to convince Loretta to stay here because they might possibly be the percentage that pushes her over if Loretta does not change her mind. Okay? So, insert Mabel with news about ladies' night. So the guys know this will be an excellent way to gain support from the residents. They're just completely oblivious as to how that's gonna happen. Y'all gonna go down there and y'all gonna do y'all's woman thing. Y'all gonna sit around and make all these friendship bracelets while you drink and talk about men. I mean, y'all can kumbaya by the end of this thing, and then we might save the Arconia. And Mabel was like, y'all, get it out of here. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we just gonna talk about tampons too. Now, in the middle of this plan coming together, Loretta and Detective Williams, both of their international flights were canceled at the airport. So they come back, and now they've decided to get in on this plan to join Mabel for ladies' night. This is going to be pretty interesting. So they all come together at Oliver's, and Detective Williams volunteers to work the tables because, she got a little bit of experience on them tables. And her and Charles, they have a quick little conversation about their past history with gambling and cards and all of those things. And they surmise that through her purposefully dealing bad hands to Camilla and good hands to everybody else at the table, i.e. Mabel, Loretta, and i.e. Mabel and Loretta for now, that might get her to start rambling about murder. But if that doesn't work, Loretta says that she's got something in her back pocket. She says, you know what, back in my day when I had my first roommate, she was a psychic. She was a ghost whisperer. And she would often tell me that I got a gift. So she was like, I can tap into it if y'all really need me to. And Oliver was like, girl, what? Everybody is looking at this lady like she is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. The whole damn box. Do you hear me? And so he wasn't aware of that at all. But ain't nobody holding their breath on that idea for now. Now, in the midst of all of these good ideas coming together, it seems that Charles might have gotten a touch of clarity on why he falls for a certain type of woman. It's because the only time it seems that his mother was truly good to him as a mother was when he was helping her do something bad. For example, cheat at card games that she would often invite people over to play at her house. The house always wins. I thought y'all knew that. Poor Charles. He just needs a little love and affection, y'all. So he got to get it how he live. And that was the only way that he could get it. So I don't blame him. His mama was trash. Now, the girls get all dolled up and they run into Rainey on their way down to the basement. You know, they walking down the, oh, yes, it's late, it's night, and the mood is right. Yeah. You know what? I should have sung the remix. I like the remix with Lil' Kim and Missy Elliott and Lisa. Rest her soul. And was Angie Martinez? Yeah. I just watched some old video footage of when they performed that song at like one of the award shows way back when, y'all. They all look good back then. So anywho, Rainey runs into them and she tells them, you know what, I'm just down here because I haven't been able to stop thinking about the idea that my baby Lester was murdered since she told me about it. And so Loretta definitely does not make things any better by inviting her to come to ladies' night with them because, as a matter of fact, girl, we finna go confront the woman who killed him. And Rainey was like, what? And everybody else was like, no. We not doing that. We are definitely not doing that, Rainey, okay? And she was like, yep, I want to go. And so Detective Williams was like, okay, girl, if you gonna go, there is one rule. No tears. You got to keep your poker face on. So while the ladies are headed down, the guys are headed up to go door to door to speak to their fellow Arconians about Camilla's shenanigans and her plans to turn this thing into a casino if she gains majority ownership. So as they're going door to door, they end up getting a message from Randall telling them to come back down. Apparently he's found out that the building therapist, Dr. Stanley, you know, the one that asked them to drop his dry cleaning off when he was carting a dead body, when Nikki's dead body back to the cleaners. Yeah, that guy. So apparently Randall had found out that Dr. Stanley had recently sold his place to Camilla. Well, technically, it's not sold just yet. It's still in escrow until midnight. And then after that, he is peacing out. I'm up out of here. So they offer to try to buy him a few drinks, okay? And while we talk over drinks, can you lend us a listening ear? And hopefully they can try to convince him to reconsider selling his house. Now downstairs, Loretta wanders off to try to go see if she can talk to Jennifer Aniston about possibly guest starring on her show in New Zealand, while Detective Williams, because she had disappeared for a quick second when they was getting ready to walk down. Y'all, she disappeared and reappeared, and she done changed clothes. She had a wardrobe change. She's now in costume for a table dealer. Okay, she just happened to run into a girl that was about her size. So she was like, girl, let me go ahead. And I was like, where's the person who was actually wearing those clothes? And she was like, oh, she's in a better place. I was like, I know. Are you talking about upstairs in somebody's room or something? And so now she really has her head in the game, and Camilla is starting to get all these losing hands while Mabel and Rainey are winning, right? Everything seems to be going according to plan. Mabel's doing her best to smile, but Rainey just can't seem to get with the program. She just can't seem to hide her disdain for Camilla. Okay, she keeps staring over there at her, and she's making these snide remarks through clenched teeth. The hatred is real thick in this room. I'm concerned that Rainey is going to end up catching a case about Camilla if she stays at this table for too much longer. Now, the uncomfortableness, it is stifling, y'all. So Mabel ends up telling her, hey, girl, it's time to go, after Rainey was like, girl, I don't see how you could be upset and you know, about losing these hands, but you turn around and say that you're winning after you done killed my husband. And Detective Williams and Mabel look at Rainey like, come on, man. And so Camilla was like, I knew she was one of y'all's. Go ahead and take her back with you. So upstairs, Rainey apologizes for her lack of control over her emotions. And so as she's talking, y'all, she's over there at Lester's display case, right? And she's putting on his hat. It looks really cute and all of that. And she just mentions how she wishes they would have been able to find that elevator handle that he always kept on him. Y'all remember he said that it was like holding on to a piece of history. As long as he was alive, the door handle was going to be with him. Well, Mabel thought that Rainey had it, and she doesn't. So I assume that whoever does have it is possibly the killer. Now downstairs, Loretta ends up getting Detective Williams pulled off the table by claiming that Detective Williams, oh, you double dealing. She cheating. And so they end up getting her pulled off the table. And while I was with Detective Williams on this one, like, Loretta, girl, what the hell are you doing? It somehow helped Loretta gain Camilla's trust just a little bit more. But then, y'all, I guess she might have some psychic ability, because she gets Camilla to open up a little bit by announcing that, oh yes, I'm feeling several spirits in this room, but there's this one that is jumping out at her. Okay, it's this one spirit that seems to keep popping up, and she was like, oh, maybe it's my great grandmother. You know, she is me. I am her. And she was like, yeah, hey girl, Evangeline, I ain't talking about her. It's another spirit that keep tapping me on my shoulder. It's a gentleman. And so as she's saying that, y'all, the bartender's doing the shaker thing to make the drinks in the back, and this gets her all going, right? She's able to tap into a memory from another ladies' night. So this time she goes to the bar and Mickey is fixing her that drink, or maybe we're continuing that night. And so Mickey is fixing her this drink, and she brings up the prospect of them going into business together. See, she had heard that Sebastian was trying to open the first casino ever there, but then Jay caught wind of it and he made his own offer, right? So not to be outdone, because this is a lady living in a man's world and she's trying to change that perspective. She figures that maybe they could go into business together. Okay, she buy half the stakes in the Arconia, and they turn the Velvet Room into old New York. An old New York gambling room, you know, bring back the brass, bring back the Ricky Ricardos, like the live music, the all of that, right? We can make this thing really exclusive. And so he initially gets upset at the fact that, how dare these fools try to push up on my territory? Do you know how long me and my family been doing this? This is a family business. But then it turns uncomfortable for him, because I think he finally understands what Camilla is trying to tell him without telling him. She needs him to read between the lines, y'all. She wants to get romantically involved with him. And even hints that it sounds like you and your wife is, you know, y'all on the way to Splitsville. And he was like, no. We just going through a rough patch. Now, girl, I gotta go. Okay, they calling me in the back, but I could never sell this place. You know, my wife's family history is here. I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry. And so he ends up walking away. And as soon as he leaves, because she was rejected, she ended up calling some person that we don't know who she called. And she was like, hey, I want to buy up as many apartments in the Arconia as I can, starting now. So, y'all, she gonna get it however she gonna get it, but she just hated the fact that Nikki had rejected her romantically and, from a business aspect. Yeah, Loretta might be onto something about having this gift, y'all. What y'all think? Now, upstairs, Charles and Oliver in this therapy session with Dr. Stanley, and Detective Williams comes in and she was like, hey, man, I'm going to tell you once and I'm going to tell you once only. You need to get your wife. You need to tell your wife to sit down somewhere because I'm about tired of her and all these European fake-ass accents that she been trying to put on. But Loretta is working her magic, yo. So she joins in and she don't miss a beat. We realize that Charles aspires to have a loving relationship like Oliver and Loretta's. Okay, that's what he really needs. He understands the very toxic relationship and the manipulation that his mama was putting on him, when he was younger. And so that's why he always trying to look for somebody who he's just grateful to not have end up killing him. Okay, as long as you don't kill me, girl, I'ma love you for life. Okay. What was the one from last year that he let get away? She was crazy though. Wasn't her name Jan too? I can't remember her name, y'all. It don't matter. So they also talk about Oliver being terrified to tell Loretta that he doesn't want to move. We knew that Oliver was a very insecure man who tries to hide it with this huge personality. We already knew that. We didn't need a therapist to tell him that. But I guess maybe he just needed to get some confirmation. Either way, he feels better. He's gotten that clarity that he needed. Well, what about you, Dr. Grover? What about you? That's his first name, okay? Grover. Grover the Grouch. Was Grover a grouch? That's Oscar. Disregard, y'all. Grover was actually pretty cool. Anywho, what about you, Dr. Grover? And he was like, come to think of it, nobody's ever asked me how I felt. And so he tells them that he feels very disconnected from the people that he spends these hours listening to day in and day out. And he even feels disconnected from his neighbors, from the other Arconians. And with that, he decides that he wants to better himself, okay? He wants to try to make some genuine human connections out here. But unfortunately, y'all, after checking the time, our session is up, but more importantly, it is past midnight. The Arconia is no more. His apartment has sold, which means Camilla is now majority owner. Unless Loretta and all her crazy can come through in the clutch. Back to her. We get another flashback after Loretta tells her, look, girl, I know that is not the type of person that you meant to be. You was just a girl just hopelessly in love, like Sandra D. Okay, just hopelessly in love. You just wanted that to be reciprocated to you, and it wasn't. That's not the type of person you are. So just unburden yourself from all of these bad feelings. And so in this flashback that we get from her, she's talking to somebody on the phone again. I'm assuming this is the person that she talked to the first time about closing on the last apartment in about 2 weeks, when she runs into Nikki on the street and he looks very disheveled, y'all. Now she was like, boy, where you been? Everybody been looking for you. Where you been at? And he was like, girl, whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do. I want in. I done had a change of heart. And he reveals that he found out that Sophia was having an affair. If she didn't want me to go do her dirty, then she shouldn't have been doing me dirty by trying to get her pipes cleaned out by somebody else. And so she was like, who was she messing with? He never reveals the name. It's definitely given somebody sleeping in my bed. Drew Hill vibes. But we don't get a name, y'all. Ooh, it's so juicy. I can't wait till we find out who she messing with. But either way, he is all in. He just needs to know what you need me to do, girl. Whatever you need me to sign, I will do it. Just tell me what you need me to do. And she ends up telling him that she wants to host a private game on Saturday with just her, Bash, and Jay. And with that, he is off, y'all. But he looked like he running from somebody. He looked like somebody might actually be after him. Or was that just me? Now back to reality. It sounds like things were going according to plan, she says, her being Camilla. Had it not been for that meddling ass doorman. Y'all, Loretta almost broke character when she heard that. Don't you do it, Loretta girl. You've been holding strong this whole time. Don't you do it. But we don't dive into it because she gets the message about the last apartment closing. She wins. The game is over. Now, upstairs, y'all, Mabel is talking to Rainey about how she's losing in every aspect of her life. First, the podcast, now the Arconia, and her love life. It seems to be circling the toilet, too. Now, she likes Jay, but she's not sure of how he's involved in this whole murder mystery thing. But Rainey was like, girl, if you really felt like he played a part about what happened to Lester, you wouldn't even be talking about him this much. You wouldn't even be thinking about him this much in the first place, girl. So Mabel ends up sending a text message to Jay. And, Rainey was like, girl, good for you. Go get your man, girl. And so then Mabel ends up showing her the box of evidence that they've collected for the case. And it's not a lot, but it is some things in there. And one of those things I told you was going to come back into play was that bird whistle. And so to honor her love, she was like, hey, baby. And she ended up blowing the bird whistle, y'all. It was so sweet and it was so sad. So when she does this, unbeknownst to her, this triggers an alarm to go off on Vinny's phone, but he doesn't hear it because he's pelotoning it out to Fifi. He is having a good old time. Now, the crew reconvenes and Loretta shows up to let them know that unfortunately she was not able to get that murder confession out of Camilla, but she was able to find out about Sophia's affair and how Nikki only discovered it the week leading up to his death, that he and Camilla were going to click up and go into business together for the casino, but Camilla was more motivated by the fact that she was in love with that man. Oh, and one more thing. She found the door handle, y'all, but it actually had blood on it. So just then, Vinny and Rainey come busting through the door to let them know about the bird whistle that Rainey had did a while ago. It set off a hidden camera that not even Bash knew about. Now, Lester used this whistle the night that he passed to trigger the camera because he knew that was going to happen. And while it doesn't catch who killed Lester, we do see Randall coming up shortly after Lester lands in the fountain and grabbing the bloody door handle and wrapping it in the same cloth that Loretta found it in. While Rainey does the closing voiceover about how some people grow impatient while waiting on luck to come to them. Sometimes they just go out there and take it for themselves. And that's the way the episode ends. This was a really good episode. I do believe that Randall is a red herring. I do not think that he is the person that killed him. If he did, it had to be financially motivated or some sort of, hey, if you give me this. I think he said he's out there because he's a musician, right? So he's got to get his start somewhere. So maybe they promised him that he could play in this casino band, if they bring that back. But if he did do it, which I don't think he did it, that would be the only motivation, and the fact that he knows that Lester was getting broke off, because he did see that money in the envelope, and even though Lester had told him, boy, don't you do it, don't you even think about getting involved in these criminal shenanigans, okay? That's not the person that you want to be later on in life. Trust me, I know. Even though Lester told him not to do it, maybe he just might have to find out the hard way. But I do think that he's a red herring. I do think he may have been using the door handle as possible leverage, though, to use over whoever the killer is. Question: where did she find this door handle? Because that's going to make a difference on how this moves after this. Where did you find the door handle? And if you did find it in his possession, I do think that it was used as leverage. Or maybe he might have been, saving it as evidence. Because if he had used it on Lester, honestly, if he was the killer, why would you want to keep the blood on there? Albeit whether it's yours or his, why would you want to keep anybody's blood on there? Because that's definitely going to be used against you if you ever get caught. That doesn't make any type of sense. So if he was the killer, he would have washed that off. Whoever the new bird is, once they make the connection in Lester's bird ledger, because y'all know he was writing down all them birds too, right? I do think that they'll find their killer there. Y'all, Camilla is kind of looking good for this. I'm sure she had probably hired somebody. At one point in time, I did think that maybe it was the mayor. But, well, I don't know. Maybe still, because he randomly popped up at Lester's funeral. But, I mean, you know how people always be trying to be involved in the investigation. Once they be the main perpetrator. So I don't know. I don't think Randall did it though. If it's not the mayor, because I don't think it's the billionaires, but I do think they put somebody up to it. Unfortunately, y'all, Titi is not crossed off the list either. Because where did you come from, girl? You literally just came up out of nowhere. And weren't you a country girl who Mabel was going back to see every now and then she was coming back to the city to, hang out with her aunt and be with her cool friends? So I got my side eye on her too, even though her and Mabel done made up. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about it, okay? And then maybe, and I hate to say it, but maybe Howard. I don't know, y'all. I don't think Howard, but maybe Titi or the mayor. I don't think it's Randall. But y'all let me know who y'all think it is. You can reach me at Me and You TV Reviews on Facebook and on Instagram. You can also reach me at My TV Reviews Podcast without the S on the end at gmail.com. I love y'all, okay? I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Y'all, please, 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 please stay safe out there. And until we meet over the airwaves again, I am Mo, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.